We're back. Yes, we're with you. Feeling pucker. Done with our COVID-19 travel and a little bit of whiplash. Yes, thanks. Whiplash courtesy of the Alts crypto market. Yes, indeed. And let's take the old bozies off. I'm here alive and kicking. Georgia hat in full regalia for my beautiful friends of the Eastern European persuasion. How are you guys doing? We are back and we're talking anti-fiat, crypto. Yes, indeed. Lots to tell you and share with you today. Couple of key things for you. Really do this early for us. It's the only thing we ask for. No ads, nothing, no headaches. Hit the like, hit the share. Grab the mini series if you haven't got any money and you just want to get a little bit of a heads up of what we're all about. Book a phone call to get started if you realize there's real value to being in the right altcoins when it comes to alt season. Yeah, let's have a look at the screens and talk back on the Crypto Sniper channel. So Bitcoin dominance actually is what I'd been saying for the better part of 2 years. Back end of 17, right the way into the eventual highs. Through the bear, even though we were shorting, we said definitely don't be in alts. Short all coins. We shorted a lot of alts, more so than Bitcoin. Couple of key moments we shorted Bitcoin. You can see here on our screen, not so long ago, even 9 months ago, let's go with pretty in transgender pink. We were talking of the still being Bitcoin dominant. That was streamed 9 months ago from this very grey screen that you see right here behind me, wearing a vest as well. How uncorporate is that? What a dirty man. Anyway, nonetheless, 4,600 of you viewed it. We continue to say pullbacks and alts will be especially gutted. So we are not on the alts. We're not in love. When the alt season comes, we say the alt season comes. And one of the key things we started to talk about is over here. 1 month ago, we said, right, guys, the alts are showing it. Bitcoin dominance is sagging. It's getting slowed up. It's getting beaten up. It's starting to reach its high. In fact, we said 73% looks like the final tap out for Bitcoin dominance. You want to be in, that's an odd 7. You want to be in the alts when we get to go moving up. And not so long ago, we also did something about ADA. And even during this particular one a month ago, we said it is one of the first. It's one of the first to show its horns of the alt market. Yes. So how are you guys doing? Litecoin looks about ready to rise. Well, yes, Ben, I think you're probably right. I did look at Litecoin, but it wasn't the best and the strongest. This is the power. Now, eventually, the second and third runners will come later. But when it then gets all slowed down, they'll have less time and they'll make a smaller percentage move. But you do get seasons. And you want to be in the early, really powerful ones from the get-go and the beginning. So let's have a look at some charts, shall we? Let's have a look at some charts. What have they been doing? And we'll start with the great ADA. In fact, I was having a look at a few beautiful charts here. And there's going to be many new alts that may have a little bit of a run, and we are already sizing up on next ones that we're in. Details in our community, by the way. You can find out more around that. Let's get ADA up though, first of all. So symbols, clicking on that. Let's get the anti-fiat list. So it's getting more organized on here. The anti-dollar. Who doesn't want to be the anti-dollar? And that was ADA BTC. It's not the one I want. ADA USDT. Yeah, it's taken all my beautiful draws away. Anyway, let's show you the charts. And by the way, this started a long time ago on the markets when we looked at the bottoming that was going on. Now, ADA against Tether was having in a very decent rounded bottom. But it was actually ADA against BTC, which I'll go back to on the bull market chart. So here you go, rounding. An attempt at a getaway run, ran into a key level here, which we have now broken with momentum. Wait for it, logical number, 0.1. That's right, 10 cents, I believe it is, on the Tether US. And you get your W bottom. And in fact, you went a little lower on that one, but it recovered very quickly. And that was where it was showing great strength. Look, they had some events planned. There's been some PR. They made some progress. It's all good. That doesn't mean they're going to be the only dominant crypto out there. There are other goodies. But this one caught our eye, and boy, hasn't it paid in spades. We will show you this little structure, and you'll learn more about it. I've shared some sketches through the Crypto Sniper on Twitter. If you're not following at the Crypto Sniper, do it now. If you're not following at the Market Sniper and the Reset Sniper, do it also. Anyway, so that was our squeezy Japanesey, and you could see the volume went nice and low, and then started to bump. And then started to bump just in time as it was about getting ready to go. And you've now had a blow-off candle. That points to some selling. Now we have an overperformance and a natural target. The natural target was taken at least 50 to 60%. And then you have overperformance bands that may still have you in the trade or may have had you close it. That depends on the draw that you would have done on this. So that's ADA against Tether. What a beautiful, beautiful movers in this alt season. And one of the earliest to show some degree of strength. It was very similarly set up against Bitcoin, and this is the key. On certain high leverage platforms, you can get ADA on against Bitcoin as well, and it was similarly set up. So I had some ungodly amount that I was able to leverage up to, thanks to yours truly, BitMEX, which allowed a very nice move. That was most profitable, and despite not getting all of the overperformance, it was exceedingly rewarding. It was exceedingly rewarding. I was traveling, and as a result, I didn't want to be too concerned about what was going on in the markets. So I played safe. Something I would suggest you do. Generally. So that's ADA. It was really been powerful. So what's been driving this? We have to look at real world. Remember, this channel right here understands that actually it's all about people, markets, and their reactions. You can't live in a crypto bubble. It matters what the dollar's doing. It matters what the anti-fiats are doing. And actually gold and silver were proceeding on the bull run prior to crypto. And I continue to assert my original thinking, he says. He's claiming original thinking. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. Maybe he's deluding himself. That the silver and gold markets are to be watched if you're trading crypto, as well as the dollar index market, as well as risk on and risk off, such as equities, etc. By the way, t-shirts down below. You don't have to buy an extra large like me so it hangs on you like this. I actually have tight ones, extra large ones. I think I was suffering a little bit with the lockdown there. I might have done some physiological damage. Anyway, so let's have a look at that dominance, because we're talking about it. How does it look, and what did we say? Well, let's do it. BTCD, come back up, and here we go. So a little bit of a look at this, and I'll give you a brief overview of what we've been seeing. So it's paid since 2018. It's paid at the end of 17 going into 18, that is, to be Bitcoin dominant. Now, there was still a large bear period in the market. That doesn't mean you should have been in Bitcoin, but you should be shorting alts. And if you ever went long at a minor bull rally, you should have gone long the Bitcoin, not the alts. And the alts stayed in what I call the blood basement. If you do that Fibonacci on TradingView and you get all the beautiful colors, that red ground floor, that is like the movie Saw. You know, that's where they chop bits up and there's limbs and gore in there. You don't want to get stuck in the blood basement. You're probably going to have some Khazar torturer from the CIA chop you up for your stem cells or something. So what you want to do is you wanted to be Bitcoin long when there were long moments, but actually most of the time in the early part, there were bear periods. And then we started to get revival 19, and then this should have been Bitcoin long periods. So what's happening now? Well, we call that a top round about here. We said we didn't like this structure that formed. That was a rising wedge. Draw it properly, Francis. Let's get a little bit more space, a bit more real estate, and draw nicely. Draw nicely, man. You got all the toys. I got all the toys. I'm back in a hole there. I have all my toys around me. I love it. Who doesn't love charting if you've got good toys? So we called that and we said that. So a little rising wedge and then a broadening structure. You'll learn all about those if you elect to. If you want to be smart, you can stay dumb if you like. I'm sure you're not dumb. I'm just teasing. But yeah, so squeezing rising wedge led to a sell-off from there. And then broadening structure, typically we treat those as continuation. So they're there again. And I've shared a few of these. I think I'm quite generous on Twitter as and when time allows. But of course, you get them in retrospect. You could be discussing them with us in our community if you felt like it. Those were key points where Bitcoin was going to lose ground against alts. That means even if you have no other clue and you don't know how to do relative assessment across crypto, you were just in Ethereum, which is the biggest alt out there, you would have done pretty well. You would have done during this bullish phase better than Bitcoin. That means you gain Bitcoin value. Now, the minute you start to be able to look at different cryptos and say, wow, man, I can have a look at this. I can have a look at this. I can look at the top 13. I actually don't spend much time looking outside the top 10. A couple of what I'd call new wave alts that have done some big days. So I'm referring to Link. I'm referring to Tezos, etc. So I go to about 13 sometimes and we have a look at what's moving. And we found ADA. And ADA's done amazingly well for us. And that was a great weighting. By the way, you can trade it, as I mentioned, on MEX and get big leverage. And now Binance is doing a derivative platform. You can go knock yourself out on there. But remember one thing, leverage kills. Leverage kills. The minute you put the leverage on, you're going to get stopped out if you don't have, and you're going to get closed and have your account blown if you don't have stops in. So you've got to have stops. Let's have a quick look at the comments before we see. Nice hat indeed. Georgian through and through. I'm going to get one of those Khabib wigs, but it's hot today, so I'm not going to wear the big white fluffy lion's head for next time he fights. But yeah, we're doing the Georgian bit today. So let's show you something else. What else has been happening? What else has been happening? Which other cryptos were interesting? Well, we were talking about Link. So without further ado, we'll go have a look at it. So see how BTCD has pretty much tapped out. By the way, I never finished pointing that out. That's around the 73%. And that for me is, I'm calling top for that on Bitcoin Dominance. I don't expect it to do that necessarily. But I do think it can bleed out fairly, like the gold-silver ratio is currently bleeding out. And this is where I keep coming back to gold, Bitcoin, silver, alts, comparables. Because our gold-silver ratio is similar to that. It gets to a certain high, and then it's a bit extended, and then it's coming down. It's not that gold's going to become less valuable. It's still strong and going to do pretty well. It's just the higher beta, well-selected alts could do even more. Even Ripple, who I've regularly knocked as getting a bid at the moment. So, you know it's got to be a summer, a real spring when that's happening. So let's go down and have a look at Link. We'll start with Tether. Look at that beauty. Wouldn't you have wanted a little bit of this fella in recent times? And remember, this was the bedwet moment. That's weekly. It's a little intense weekly. Let's get a bit more detail. We'll go 2 days. This was when it all went wrong with the stock market and our scamdemic, which they're still playing the scripts out. They're getting you ready for wave 2. They're going to make Ghislaine Maxwell disappear as a CV19 event, and you won't get to see the body, or the same guy will do the autopsy that did the Kennedy autopsy, that did the Epstein autopsy. She'll be getting plastic surgery and retiring out in Tel Aviv, having been a good Mossad mensch, keeping the Goyim Eastern European girls as playthings for the rich and famous and recorded, and all that other slavery. But anyway, I'm digressing slightly. So that was our sell-off moment. Clearly very bearish. Yeah, but actually not too bad. We built up quite quickly, initially a bit cautiously. Then we got a nice pump out of that, squeezed, and a little bit indifferent. Got low vol, pumped, another second phase, and then just up, and up, and then blow off. Now, why the blow off? Was there a sign that there was a blow off coming? Yes, there was. But you need method in your madness to be able to have seen that, and Link was certainly showing that. So again, we had a structure that we liked and we went in there. And this is the key bit. You get in before the volume. That's before the other idiots. You only have to be 5 minutes before the storming herd. Try avoid being the storming herd. Try avoid being the storming herd. You see that? You don't want to be buying here. Transgender pink. That makes you a village idiot. No, I'm just kidding. It just makes you part of the storming herd. And that's cattle. You don't want to be cattle. You want to be a pathfinder. You want to be the one going before. That's the recce. That's the seal. That's the smart guy. It's a pathfinder. You want to be in there before. That gets you in there when the volume is still like that. And that sees you immediately go away from your stops, which are nice and tight and are actually tighter than that as well. That gives you high reward, low risk trading in alt season. Now, everyone else wants to say that they have ChainLink and will go and pay some ridiculous price and get you out at the top. And then they can say they had ChainLink and they can be the bag holder for a 30% retracement. And they end up hodling because that's all they know how to do. You want a bad trade becomes a long-term investment. That's typically how it works out, guys. So yes, 96 and younger, says somebody. Good. That's probably makes you a millennial. I think our sniper. RK, barrier, depends on whether you might need to cross the border. Okay, it's all about borders. Get it out the vault. Sniper is in, is it better in the vault? Mine's in the vault, not a baking vault. I think he means a banking vault. Yorkshire. Proper Yorkshireman in the house. Good, thank you. Doggy, still more upside to go. We can have a look at Doggy. Physical is best in a safe place, preferably under your own control. We'll get to silver and precious metals as well in a minute. Let's just run through this. So why don't we do, for a little bit of fun, a total 2 chart generally. I'll show you ETH on its own though, because I owe that to you. We did have a few plays with ETH, which is done rather nicely. And it is well set against, wait for it, Bitcoin. It is well set against Bitcoin. Let's have a little look at our chart, how it's forming now. Possibly a little potential move. I want to show you against Bitcoin. So actually, if you have no other ideas and all the other major alts have run and you don't feel like being the bag holder on the way back down, smart, you don't have to own them. You can put a mark next to them and say, I'll get ADA after it dips a little bit. I'll get Link after it dips a little bit. I'm not going to be the bag holder and just buy at any price. You can get into some Ethereum in the moment. And I think we've given you a little bit about this. So this is stuff we're discussing regularly in our community. A little bit of a flat bottom there, but it's shined up a little bit. And it's edging its way. I'm not sure it's going to be the biggest ripper, but rather be as a space holder for me at the moment in Ethereum than Bitcoin. Now, there's an important point to make with that. Bitcoin is losing ground on the Bitcoin dominance, and it's had a little spill. At some point, it may just have a spike attempt rally. Remember, it's not going to be straight line down, down, down. So there'll be a little period of Bitcoin dominance again, etc. But don't be fooled now. I think the top is in, and I think we've reversed, and we're having a serious considered down move. But I don't think we're going to 35% as it was when all the alts were charging as fast as it happened in the great bull market. That's something for you just to keep in mind, because people are going to be once bitten, twice shy for super, super fluffy, looky-likey coins that do much the same thing and aren't really special. So keep that one in mind and be cautious. So I think you're going to generally drift up and make moderate gains over a moderate time frame by biasing Ethereum over Bitcoin if you've got no other places to go. We've actually got 1 or 2 coins that we're lining up. Let's have a look at Doggy for you because that was requested. So wow, let's take those lines off. That is just a super spike, and I can't even begin to know what might have driven that. But note, and this is quite an interesting point, note this, good people. Note how volatility is the game. Just before it all went absolutely mental. And you had the crypto sniper tell you 1 month ago it's alt season, and what did you get on Doggy, your favorite coin? And I can't watch all these things. As I said, we've been traveling and getting ourselves back sorted. This went absolutely chup still, as they say. Very, very low volatility. Plus, you have super spike amplitude there. And actually, on a bigger time frame, you had that. So it is a squeezy, Japanesey for a dog. It's a Japanese dog. And you went very, very low vol in the orange box. And then you absolutely smashed it. And it's coming back a long, long way. So there's a little bit of a dump feel about this pump, but nonetheless, it's enjoyed quite a bit of that move. And in percentage terms, it must have been huge. But it went from around 24,000 sats and hit 54,000 stats, a touch over, maybe 55, before retracing by to 40,000 odd, which is where we are now. So look at that and remember, top tip from Sniper. Low volatility in squeezing structures will give you extreme reward with tight risk trades. In other words, you could have had a stop loss there. Let's change it in transgender. A stop loss there, and you could have been a buyer on the takeout of that little high if you were that aggressive, or you could have waited for there. But let me tell you, either way, your risk reward would be huge, even if you got out now. And if you had a target, like this line projected from here, you would have probably got out with HVF method very close to the top. That's what we do. That's what we try to do anyway. We're not always successful, but we get it right often, more often than most. Because we have a method. Smash the likes, says Georgette Adelaide. She's my girl, Georgette is. I hope she's a girl. 400 people watching. Yeah, come on, the 400. Look at that. It's a magical number. VET, says somebody. Yes, there was some action in VET. On the BTCP, so I'm not looking at you, I'm reading the comments on another screen. I'm not being shifty. I'm not looking for a rock, like one of those guys. Don't worry. Having a read. RK, Google it, says somebody. Ballistic Cat. I want to see your definition. Francis, the doggy spike was driven by a TikTok challenge. Ah, okay. So there's a bit of fun and games going on there. TikTok challenge, as she says. The Culture Brewing Channel. Stomo looks, I think it's Dollar Tomo, looks great and similar to Link. Thoughts on LTC? Yeah, I can run past LTC for you. Is this finally the start for Ethereum? I think in a moderate way. I think there will be what I call the new alts pumps, even though Cardano isn't super new. It did come out sort of first wave. I'd say Tezos and Link are kind of more of the new wave ones. Shriva Mohan likes Tezos. What tool for TA? This is TradingView, and I am using Epic Pen. I could put it right through that ear, and I'll be able to pull it out the other one, I promise you. There'll be no damage, no blood, no nothing. Epic Pen is an app which I bought, if you want to know, and this is a Wacom 32-inch. Oh, I love it. You can just sign your name. Like that. That's not my real signature, by the way. Don't get excited. BNB Coinburn is coming. He says, so let's get some analysis. There's some requests in there. So we'll have a look at Litecoin and we'll have a look at BNB. It is giving up ground. We should check in with, we'll do Tether for Binance on Litecoin, get a bit more volume going, and we'll have a little look. You see, it should have done more. Can you see what I'm saying? This is the difference. Imagine you bought Litecoin and your neighbor bought ADA. How's the different faces? One's like this, and the other one's like this. Yeah, you don't want that. You want to be the neighbor, not the guy who's holding Litecoin. And as a result, given the alt run, Litecoin's actually vulnerable to me. it looks vulnerable. You'll have a look at the coin market cap. You've got to remember it's given up positions. You don't regularly get market cap changes in the top 10 like you do outside the top 10. This is a big freaking deal, this. Cardano coming in now at 7, and it actually was ahead of SV. There's nothing in it. And Litecoin getting pushed down. Binance Coin's been pushed down. CryptoCoin.com has come back up. It's in 10. EOS is slipping. And then Chainlink and Tezos regularly just seem to hold that 12, 13 position with occasional forays into just into the top 10. Stella's hanging tough. Just behind that, let's have a little look further down. I always like to check where Monero, I think he's going to be at about 17. Monero at 17, Tron, that's it. And then from the rest, I get a bit indifferent further down that. So I know some of you are vet fans and other things. I like to see, let it get backed with enough money that it gets its way. To get into the top 10, you need 2.5 billion market cap. There's got to be something going on there, and there's got to be reasonable liquidity. You will have huge pump and dump schemes out of it that even if you read charts well, you've got to be exceedingly nimble. Shoot and scoot rules. This is the Hunt's theory of shoot and scoot. If you want to trade anything outside the top 15, that's all the time. You get a profit, you take it. You never know for sure. You can leave a residual amount as a lottery ticket in case it turns into a future Cardano, a future, Litecoin or Bitcoin, Cash, etc. So these two have not been spectacular. The two Bitcoin forks have not really been part of the news very much. They've given up ground in market cap. They've got Cardano barking down their necks, breathing down their necks. SV gave up ground to it earlier. Ripple had been drifting off a long way from Ethereum. It was at about 7 billion when Ethereum was about 26, 27. It's picked up a little bit, it has to be said. 8.64 is not a bad bounce. We can have a look at it technically. But I came here for, let's show you Ripple for the guys that like Ripple. A lot of people ask of it. As I say, it's been an awful coin to hold for most of this time. So for me, it's a shoot and scoot trade. If I get anything, I take it off. I don't leave anything in investment until it shows me that it's going to be going up on a more sustained basis. I don't trust it. You see, how excited should you get? How excited should you get in an alt run market where all the alts are running? Let's just give you some perspective here. I actually need to give you weekly because otherwise it's all going to get lost. That's it. That's what everyone in Ripple land is talking about. Here's your perspective. I'm not lying to you. I'm not being mean. That's a bit like your first time bride, waiting for you there in that conjugal first event of consummating the marriage, and you drop your shorts and there's half a chipolata hanging in there. She's not going to be overawed with excitement and zest for your capabilities. To me, that's that moment right there. So yes, it's a big percent for Ripple. It's a rare big percent, but in the big scale of things in a major alt run market, this is still a fail coin. Fail. Do more. This thing is fizzling on its market cap that is rated. You also look at the tradability. It's often at 9 or 10. The actual liquidity, don't like it. Smelly, smelly. And if it's IMF coin, future, or something's based on it, believe you me, we'll see that buying from the insiders coming. first with the very earliest in the know. So not impressed still, Ripple, just because of one good day. One single solitary teensy weeny little swallow does not make a summer. Okay, so vet, somebody said. Now, I have painfully little awareness of the nature of who he be, but it is very illiquid as a coin. We've got some nasty skippy wicks. But again, you trade the compression. And then you get an extra gift there. How predictable is it for me? How easy is it to move 1 or 2 Bitcoin in there and out? I don't want to play in that one. If you're an early starter and you're prepared to take more risk and you're trading 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and it's awesome to double that and get 0.5, be my guest. Generally, it won't play a role for me. It's a trader's speculative pun coin until it shows it gets some true value. By the way, 209 sats. So you're really penny stocking here. You're trading something really low at the end. But everything has its place, and I'm not being a snob, and I'm not being unruly. I'm just saying the game is to get at the bigger table where you can trade liquidity. You get to max where you can trade an udder, and you can have hundreds of thousands position at key moments at the right time and get really outlier gains. Okay. Masonic sniper, somebody says. Not quite. Orchid coin is looking good. ADA was 0.2 100 days ago. VET is on Binance. Yes. Would you like to know if you use Fibonacci, other indicator to chart? I use occasionally Fibonacci's, but actually if you use key levels of significance, I mean, if we just go back, for example, there were so many clues. We did link BTC. I'll show you one standout chart. I'm hoping that draw is still here, and I can give you a little look in it. You don't need too much more. People think more is better. They add whole bunches of things without any. I mean, this is link. Do you need fibs? You're in a bull market. You're going up. You're in a bull market. Let's get some colors going. What about a green? You're in a bull market. You're going up. You have a pullback. Okay, fine. You set up structure. You then get what we call a primer on a lower time frame, a squeezy within a squeezy. It's incredibly advanced stuff that we teach you. You could have actually got long there. You would have got in earlier. Your stop would have been tighter. So instead of this being your risk reward, you would have been a whole bunch tighter. I can even show it to you. Then you get the pump. You get up to target. Yes, you close it. You get the big dump. You get another setup. I wasn't that confident. I'm not telling you that I took every single one of these, by the way. I'm just showing you a draw. This is a historical draw. I like the first one. I was a little bit less keen on the second one. And then up to target and you're out, and it's already pulling back. And this is generated through HVF method in this community with our awesome guys that we're glad to have. Many have stopped and come back, and they've realized trading is a game of patience, and now they can't trade any other way by HVF method. They just don't have the edge. They don't want to bother doing anything else. And getting everybody's ideas, regular webinars, updates, looking at the anti-fiats, the reset sniper, understanding that we need to play in the anti-fiat game. How much time do I spend talking about the S&P index and that garbage that they can pump every time they print money, and compared to how much, apart from watching it from a risk off, we spend on gold, silver, and cryptos, whether you should be in Bitcoin or alts. This is what we do. And this is go where the action is, go where you treat it best, and apply the best method that you have, and look for high reward, low risk situations. And when you can knock those out the park and you can get a bit more leverage and you can be selective, you can be a little bit bigger with a nice tight stop, and you can get a blow off reward. And bull season has come. You were told a month ago about it in the Crypto Sniper because you followed the channel. You paid no money to hear it. You get no adverts. You give me a like, which I appreciate, and a share. And for that, you got told a month ago, alts are going to be the game. and you got updated, that other is going to be the game. And if you've done it, even if you just invested without leverage of any form, you should have made some money. Should have made some money. And guess what? If you're in the community, you could probably times that by 10. But that's for you to decide. You know, maybe you need to earn it. And like I say, it's not for everybody, and you have to be ready. This is a trading game. But that is chart. I don't need a fib in here. The natural geometry of the price action tells me. Now, occasionally I'll use a fib when there's been a major pullback and then a bit of a bounce, and I'm trying to see if it's sitting at the golden mean. So I will use it, but it's not as critical as HVF method. I don't need Elliott wave. I don't need indicators apart from volume and occasionally volume profile. Watch what volume profile does. You'll learn this on our program. I'll show you one example of volume profile. And I'm literally freestyling here. I have actually no idea what's going to come out of it. But watch what it does. When you do it in conjunction with HVF method. Bang. See that red line? Millimeters from the axis of my funnel, verifying my draw, verifying where we should be looking at the largest level, high slung pattern, and quite acceptable, and with a primer straight through the middle of that primer. How did I guess that it was probably going to be that way? Experience. I haven't done this draw on that since I should actually leave it on. It's more complete as data. This is knowing what to use. You have to become a specialist in doing one thing incredibly well. That doesn't mean you have to know how to change a wheel on a 16-wheel truck. If you're a brain surgeon, you can pay someone to do that. You're probably not driving a truck. You have to do one thing exceptionally well. So we deal in the one things, and we specialize in doing one thing. So we're spending all our time looking at HVF patterns. And guess what? Why? Because it's the time just before the big move. Because to catch the big move, you have to be in before it. Or you have to be taken in it as it's happening, and you need to have a short stop. It makes sense to me. I don't want to be saying, oh, there's a big move. I'll wait for it to get mature and then I'll buy the top. I want to be in it before, and that's what we do. That's how you get high reward trading, and that's how with a bit of leverage you can actually push forward your growth immensely. And this is what Link has done, and you know it. And do I buy it now? No, because we teach you in the theory, why not? It would be the same as if you bought it here. That doesn't mean it's not going to go higher at some point, but you don't have to be the bag holder. Where does it support? Funny that, just above our funnel. Anyway, I'm not here to sell to you. This is a great crypto alt season. You should be in alts. We are taking in positions in our next alt, out of respect to my paying communities that will have to remain temporarily unknown to you. But there's lots of good things, and you can go do your research, and you can go find out, and you can practice what you learn here, and you can value a community. A lot of great ideas being brought to the table by the guys in it, a lot of great knowledge. It's not about me as an individual. We're just good, like-minded people. Anyway, let's talk about gold and silver, because I'm getting too preachy. I hate it when I get preachy. Who did that? Who asked that question? Shoot him. Sorry, I'm being silly. Yeah. So, silver. Oh, silver. Silver. There you go. There's the draw. Smashing him. Look at this boy. No, we don't want a volume by price. Thank you. Sorry, I still got an... Go away. Get rid of that. Look at that move. Look at that move, and you could have been in it from down here. You would have had a bumpy old ride. I had a bumpy old ride. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Up and then down, and then up and then down. But each time supporting on my funnel, stick to process. That's what I teach. I got to do it. I can't preach it if I don't do it. Stick to process. Boom, boom, bosh. By the time I've unpacked bags and getting settled and sorted, I don't even have to worry. Up, 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 up. Lovely. And 19. When last did you see silver in 19s? Children, we are trading the failure of a fiat system globally. That's what we're doing. Don't misunderestimate my understandings. Remember George Bush? That guy came up with some funny phrases. Don't not see the gravity of what's happening here. This was your 2008 fiat pump. Where do you think we should be when we conjure up $3 trillion inside 3 months, that is more than what happened in the 6 years after 2008. And it's just started. I went out to dinner, restaurants closed. The owner having to wipe his hands every time he gives a menu and make a public gesture of squeezing the horrible alcohol all over his hands. One table there of 2 people, one over there, and me. These businesses are being killed. They're not making any money. This is not just restaurants, airlines. My goodness, hotels. Hotels, beverages, leisure, dead. Gyms. It's awful. Cruises. It's awful. And there's knock-on effects for all of these business. When they get laid off, what happens? Mortgages don't get paid. This is going to be UBI, Bolshevik communism coming. They've already started giving money out. They're talking about it in the UK now. Won't just be America that gets a handout. Then they're going to have to make them more often. Then they're going to have to print a bit more money to make sure they can keep giving you until they make you dependent. That's the game. Your game is to stay independent, because once they've got your dependency, they can start stipulating criteria. You've got to come in first and get your passport injected with your COVID-19 into your shoulder. You've got to do this. You've got to do that to qualify for your UBI. Once you're dependent, once they've turned you into a crack whore, then they can slap you up as much as they like. This is the nature of the people. Have no flipping doubts. Your job is not to become their whore. That's the game. Okay. Lack of passion there. I'll try work on it. Anyway, so let's have a look at gold. Well, wow. I mean, wow. Look at that for a rounded bottom. Who doesn't like a rounded bottom? You know I'm always going to say that. It's another testosterone morning here in Sunshine Valley. Whoop. Grab the P for pen, as opposed to anything else. And that was your dip. This was your 30% stock market, absolute smackdown, mega event. Economy's broken. The whole middle class is going to be destroyed. Restaurants, SMEs, here's our scam for killing all of them so that you can all become little UBI slaves. And that was your dip. And this is what it's done since. That single candle month there. Let me wipe that face one more time and do it better. Do it better. Let the people see. That single wick was that event done and dusted, shaken off, and new highs. So that's your Great Depression, guys. Don't understand. We are in a Great Depression. Definition of a depression. You understand the definition of a depression. Massive sell-offs and contractions with very, very soft, benign, weak periods of L-shaped type recovery. We're actually from at least 07, 08. You've been in the bottom of an L grinding line, like what we call a basing ascending grind line. Scratching, scratching, scratching for a decade and a half, virtually. 12 years since 2008. And they've smacked you again now. Another major contraction, and they've taken the middle out. They're coming for the middle classes. Wealth taxes are going to be sold to you by all your favorite musicians and Hollywood actors. Isn't it time, in the name of fairness, you're going to hear the phrase solidarity, that communistic phrase. No, individualism. We care for the collective community and we work hard for our goddamn selves. We do not just say all for one, all fall down. That is absolute nonsense, and it's the doctrine of communism, and it's coming. Have a look at this. Have a look at this. How dare she go? Look at that. Look at that move since. Where's the high? Well, I can tell you, the highest month close was over there. Let's get that month close in, because you're not that far away from surpassing the previous month close. And look at that rounded bottom. Oh man, that's the bottoming. That is bottoming. Put him in blue. We're heading for the highest month close, guys. We're heading this month. Hear me say it now. It's not a big call. It really isn't. But I mean, I'm saying it anyway. New month high, all-time close. This month will surpass. Remember, it's only intra-month that we made these blow off wicks. So we're going to get a new, I would say, on balance of probabilities, and I'll give it 90%. What's happening with the dollar? Sick as a canary. Sick as a canary. And even the euro's going up against it. They've got to keep the dollar weak. Did you see that Turkish lira stuck at 6.8? That's called Forex peg, unofficial Forex peg. We're trying to keep the emerging markets from falling out of bed. They're not ready yet for it. They're synchronizing the all fall down. Ring a rosies, a pocket full of posies. You've got to wait for the third, a tissue, and then we all fall down. That's how it goes. They ain't ready yet. They ain't ready to pull the tent down. We've got to hold them up. The one's so sick he's falling to the floor. Don't fall yet. It's not your cue. It's a scam and a half, big boy. I tell you what. And you've got to come out of this richer, wealthier, smarter, and you're going to keep from being made these monstrosities prostitute. That's what I'm doing for you right now. Why don't I use session volume instead of fixed range? Because I'm accumulating volume specifically for an intended pattern at a specific point on that pattern, right up till the point it breaks, and you can learn all about that in the content as a whole. In other words, I'm not interested in the general picture. I'm interested in that data which is involved in the pattern creation specifically. But we can and do use session volume for other things, which you can also learn about in time if you want to on the Get Starting bottom. But that's only if you want to. Okay, so we answered that question. What else have we got? Gold-silver ratio. I spoke of it as the equivalent of the Bitcoin dominance. So you saw that gold price. To say the gold-silver ratio is going down is one thing, but it's not bad for gold, is it? Now, imagine why I keep saying you should be long silver right now. That is it. And it has a little bit of similarities with a couple of crypto charts in some ways, but I'll stay away from making those parallels right now. So broadening structure. I should have done that on a slightly more shorter time frame. Let's see if we can get a 8 hours or something. We'll wipe our face. So what do you think this is doing? Going up or going down, good people? He asked. What do you say? Answers in the comment section. 1 week, fully paid by the Sniper Circle, holiday to Lagos. Holiday to Lagos. Come on, you know you want it. With a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. You know you want it. You do know you want it. You see it? You'll learn about grind lines, basing, ascending grind lines, all sorts of things if you want to learn, and it'll save you money. Money you won't be able to count, I'm afraid. You'll never know, apart from the word vast. That is a spiller. It's spilling. It's not a huge spiller. It's not an absolute dying down monstrosity like this one, but it could accelerate to be that one. So that was a little bit of a wedgie. That absolutely hurled it down. That actually was a falling wedge that spilled lower down. And then you got a bit of recovery, and so basically you staircase. I refer to this as staircasing. You get a down leg of real momentum. You get some form of structure that is pattern based. Can you see that we are pattern traders here, guys? We are pattern traders here. We look at the pattern. The truth is in the pattern. What is going on? Is it a strong reaction, weak reaction? What kind of thing does it go? So you get staircase down, hard. Give me red. I'll take red, yeah. Hard down. Pretty hard down. Hardish down with a small continuation. Hard down. Hard down. Now, you get the sideways period, which is kind of, can even be slightly up. Sideways, sideways, sideways. You see the coloring in? That was meant to be sideways, wasn't strong enough. Sideways, long period of sideways. What do you think's coming next? I'm just asking you, what do you think is coming next? This is staircasing. Blockchain matters. That's indeed true. I swear the amount of education I've gotten from your channel, Snips, I'll pay you back 100-fold. Pay yourself back and I'll be delighted. And then you'll join as a live, wealthy, self-actualizing free man. And we love that. We've got lots of them in our community. They're all awesome. A big dump, says KM Mining. Yes, indeed. And he's not talking about the fact that I picked up some weight and I'm a few behind. He's talking about the gold-silver ratio. And he's saying it's going to go down. And I think I agree. And by the way, context, just again, every time we do this, go and have a look. Wow, we've got 480 watching. Love it. Lots of likes. Appreciate it. Thank you. You're gentlemen of the realm. And the shares are double special. You grab your coffee mugs and t-shirts if you want it. You don't have to have it. Maybe you shouldn't drink coffee. I don't know. I've stopped. I have cocoa now. I'm switching. I've got a fast metabolism. It makes me cranky. Yeah, so all the way up. If you think 2008 is this is no bigger than 2008. You just think the numbers have got kind of bigger, but it's just proportional. You know, it's not going to go much further. In other words, you're saying 30 silver ounces is your pop for an ounce of gold. And we're sitting here at 96.7. Don't forget, we were warning you at 128. That was the blow off top a long time ago. And this is not ego. Forget the ego. It doesn't matter. Other people might have said it too. Never mind. The key thing is you've come from the mid 120s. And I've said, mark my words, this is a blow off top and it's coming down. And that wasn't 1 month ago. That was 6 months ago. And down, down, down you've come. Your bias in silver has paid you brilliantly. Your bias in silver has paid you brilliantly. And we haven't started yet. Some of you will be going, I'm behind the curve on all of this. I don't want to be late. I'll wait till it goes back up to 128. No, it's not. It won't. That's a blow off. It's end. It's an end. That's the end. Look at this. That is it. The volume may get high again, but that is going that way. These are wedge structures. That's a blowout at the top. Its next move is down. And if you're an optimist for the outlook of the global economy, you're getting down there. Low 30s, 30. If you're like me, you think 10, 15, 20s, all possible, possibly single digits. This is it. This is a whole new economic system coming, fella. We did this reset sniper, this logo, this entire business was built on this. I started to write the Market Sniper book for technical analysis. I started writing the reset book. It then turned out into like a bad version of a collection of zero hedge articles. And I thought, crap, I got to just get the course materials up. That was in 2008. This moment has been coming. This is our time. And this is paying us and all the poor restaurateurs, all the poor people that just want a decent economy so they can function are being shafted, killed, broken, destroyed, handed new regulations, pour alcohol all over their hands 10, 20, 30 times a day, fire up their kitchens, pay their rental staff for a third of the amount of people that they're allowed to have in their restaurants, and only half of that third show up. That's the reality for those people. And I feel really, really sorry for them because there's some good, smart people that are restaurateurs. The key thing is, though, the one key thing you can't ever give up is rely on a government and a goddamn pension to sort your wealth. You have to take control over it. You have to get smart. You have to know BS when it's standing in front of you. And you've got to position yourself for fiat failure. And I'm telling you, we're trading the anti-fiat. It's the only place I'm interested in playing. I'm not looking to buy cruise liners, oil companies and things like that. Yes, I have a look every now and then at the stocks. I know that Amazon's done really, really well. I've shown you the Bitcoin Amazon chart, and I will show you, imagine how that'll go on your best alt that is relatively strong over Bitcoin. My goodness, there are going to be some moon shoots, and you can really, really set your life up. And I'm not trying to sell a fantasy or a dream. I just know there's a lot of hard, hurt, upset people that are in real fear. Do not submit to their fear. Absolute defiance, determined in your own goddamn success to run a great show, to come out of this wealthy and independent and freedom seeking, where you will not be dictated to, you will not have to take your vaccine, and you can live in a flipping golden plated palace and buy your way out of a whole thing, which includes going on a black market somewhere and getting a fake chip if they have to. I'll carry a chicken wing under my arm if I have to put a chip in it. I am carrying, and I'll leave it at home when I want to leave it at home. I'll get some dodgy doctor to give an injection and a chip to my chicken wing, and every now and then I'll get it out and have a gnaw, and then I'll travel with it. But let me tell you, there'll be all sorts of ways, but you need to be awake, you need to be resourceful, you need to be well funded, and you need to not have the pressure of having to make a crust. And if you have to go into the open market in the real world economy, cooking things, manufacturing things, you will be devastated, like the people that are specialists at doing that are already. So you don't want to be there. You've got to make the most of what's coming right now, guys. The anti-fiat run. And as I've said, we've pointed you in the right direction. And we've asked nothing for it on this free channel. Go get your Bullion Vault via the link that I've provided in here. If you don't like Bullion Vault, choose somebody else. Go grab, start accumulating sats through a monthly payment system. And also, don't forget, accumulate your silver and physical and hold it on you. Put it somewhere safe. Be smart. Discuss all these things. Okay, good. Final questions, and then I'm going to call it time. We've been going. For how long have we been going? We're going to call it time. It's going to be next alt. What's the next alt? Aha. We'll tell you in a couple of days. Very serious and real things with a twist of black humor. Yes, it is serious, but you can never lose your sense of humor, never lose your self-belief. We're going to win. We're going to win together, and you're going to come out of this with resources. Trust me. And you can get yourself anywhere to the world. Am I a day or swing trader? I'm a pattern trader. Generally the big time frames. So 4 hourly and up on my favorites. Yes, I was on the UK spread betting interview. That was me. Only I didn't wear an oversized t-shirt like a morph. Theta. Yep. Silver and gold miner equity. So I'm in GDXJ. I'll do a very quick run through GDXJ and AG. So I'm in Majestic. I guess it's doing okay today. I haven't even had time to check. That's great when you've got lots of winners and you haven't even had the time to check. You've got a little bit of good news. You can come back and have a little look on the keyboard. I'm going to go watch a football match tonight, and it's all been spoiled. There's no one in the crowds. There's sort of like security people sitting 5 chairs apart, and then they all do this bollocks. I hugged my restaurant. I hugged my restaurant owner when I went for food last night. I love it. Hug him. I want to smell your beer in his breath. Absolutely. God damn this Morpheus nonsense. Okay, so AG doing nicely. Could wind up. Looks a little toppy. Looks like it could do a down leg and create a wind up. Some of you might be able to get in. So what am I saying to you? Keep it on your watch list. You may get a chance to buy it on a down leg. Yeah, so keep that on your watch list. You can, a little bit top. He's not got breakout momentum, actually. It's not as good as it might have been given that silver, but silver's been really buoyant, so it might not pull back as much. It might do quite a highly ascending one and just give a moderate pullback and then go up. So you'll have quite, this line will come up quite steep under it, if you understand what I'm saying. GDXJ, and then we're done. I'm going to go get dinner and watch sport. Although I think that's going to end soon. I might even have to give it all up. I'll have to find new bad habits. New bad habits. I'll become a mushroom farmer. GDXJ. Hey, that looks better. That looks better. Oh, it's 2 hourly though. Nice. This was continuation structure though. I remember it now. So this is junior miners. Junior miners means the small guys. They either get bought out for a stink load of bucks for the gold that they have in the ground, or they're marginal profits often, but then if the gold price moves even a small amount, they go from making a couple of dollars to making $15. They become wildly profitable. So that was falling wedge structure. That was your recovery from the big bedwets session, which was a broadening structure, which highlighted the fact that you're probably going to go up, and that's a nice up move. It's a nice up move, a little bit of a gap and a spinning top. So could also be have a little bit of a rest, who knows, and a little bit of a pullback. Long run, I'm not getting out of this. These are hodls. These are hodls. Leave them in. The fiat printers will make you rich. Remember, in everything in life, beautiful people, for every the darkest clouds have the most silver lining. These bastards, this pedophilic control structure of great disrepute, they are nothing if they're not fiat proliferators. And let me tell you, every announcement of more UBI, more fiat proliferation, which is their agenda and is where they're going, is going to make you right here wealthier. So in the same way they try to stab you, they also serve you. This is why the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. How does the psychopathic, wicked control structure and their on-rails predetermined path serve me? And keep asking that question until you've written on a pen and paper 10 great reasons why. I'm telling you, the first 10, there's many more. Write it down. They serve me because when I buy gold and silver, I will become a whole bunch wealthier. They are setting me up for life by pursuing their failed tactics with intent. They serve me because I've been forced to learn more about my history. They serve me because, go and write it down. And remember, taking action fixes depression. Any of you feeling a bit down about it? Take action. Let them pump your silver and gold. Let them pump your alts to the moon. You'll have plenty to be happy about. You'll be able to have resources in a time when many don't. This is a polarizing event. People on this channel, I want to see you win for being here, and I want to thank you for sharing and liking. I'm going to finish now. God bless you all. From the man with the Georgian hat, trade safe, stay with the alts, and as long as Bitcoin doesn't go hard down, and I don't think it will, we never even looked at the Bitcoin chart. I'll do it maybe another time later in the week. Book a call if this seems like the community for you. Only if it does. There's absolutely no pressure. You have time to make your decision. We explain what we're doing. You hit the get started button on the website, themarketsniper.com. Other than that, grab the free stuff, serve your friends, keep their spirits high. They're trying to make you in fear. There's gold in them, our heels, and we're going to come and take it, and we're going to build our wealth doing it. Okay, bye for now. I salute you.